All right, everybody. Hello and welcome to another math skill, I guess I'll say. Hope today's finding you well. Today's math skill is just a continuation of what we've done before. I hope it makes sense. I hope what I'm saying makes sense. You can always skip back, watch it a couple times. You can also, I'd hate to have you do this, but research on the internet. Just type in, how do I solve? Today we're doing two-step equations. And I'll show you what that means, but I hope with what you do today, this video makes sense. But if not, there's many places you can go on the internet. I've got those math websites you can go to. You can search on the internet. But hopefully this will make sense as soon as we can get me out of the way. All right, two-step equations. Here's what it means. One-step equations we've already done. Things like this. X plus 3 is -8. Because it only takes one step to figure out what the variable equals. To get from here to here, there's only one step involved. Moving this 3 over, or undoing the -3, or doing the inverse, or whichever way you like to remember it. We just subtract 3 from both sides of the equal sign. We keep it equal, so we do it on both sides. That goes to 0, and our calculator tells us the -8 minus 3 is -11. That's a one-step equation. Two-step equations means that there's two steps involved in trying to solve it. Let's say we've got 2x plus 6 equals 18. And the whole point of all this is what does x equal? What is the solution? If we were to move things around and get things settled, what does x become? And on some of these, yeah, you can probably figure it out without doing the math procedure. But fairly quickly, we'll be doing decimals, fractions, negatives. It just gets messy. So let me show you how to unwrap. Maybe one way to think of this as a gift. This X is a gift, a nice, happy, smiley gift for you. But you have to unwrap it. You have to figure out what it is. What we have to do is we have to undo the operations just like we did before. But now that there's 2 to do, we have to undo it in the correct order. You guys know PEMDAS, parentheses exponents, but then multiply and divide, and then add and subtract. You do things in that order. You do math expressions, you solve, you work through problems in this order. First of all, and you don't see many of these, but nowadays in your grade level, but multiply and divide, you do in the same step, and then you do add and subtract. That's the way you do PEMDAS. Well, to solve these equations, you undo it in the opposite order. If you're undoing something, you undo it in the opposite order. Think of it like, let's come over here. Think of it like you're taking off your shoe and socks, at the end of the day. Well, to begin with, you put on your socks and then shoes, but to undo that, you then have to undo the shoes first. That thing you did last, you now have to do first. You have to undo it in an opposite order from how you put them on. And it's the same thing here. So on this, to undo these operations, to get the x by itself, the first thing you undo is any add or subtract. So we look through, we've got this plus 6, so we're going to undo it on both sides of the equal sign. And when you do that, this is where we have to write our work or we're going to get messed up. This 2x is still there. That's just gone to 0. So we have 2 x's on this side of the equal sign. And then right here, 18 minus 6, your calculator will tell you is 12. Now, upon doing that first step, that's step 1. The second step now is getting the x by itself, undoing this 2 that's multiplied on. And we've learned in these, the way to undo multiply, you divide by 2 and divide by 2. So now this just becomes just 1. So we've got 1x. And 12 divided by 2 is 6. There's my answer to this two-step equation. It's a bit of work. 2 steps showing your work. And if you want to make sure if you did it right, you can come back around and put this 6 in place of x. And if I take 2 times 6, that's 12. Is 12 plus 6 equal to 18? Oh, yes, it is. Wonderful, well done, excellent. Solution is done. And that works with all types of two-step equations. Let's say I've got negative 3y minus 6 is 24. The process is still the same. First of all, I undo it in the opposite order. So what was PEMDAS is now like SADMEP. We just go backwards. So I look for any add and subtract, and I undo that off the variable first. So I undo this first. So I'm going to add 6 to both sides. That goes to 0. And I'm left with negative 3y equals 30. You can start to see the solution presents itself. This is multiplied on, so we divide off whatever it is. So that becomes 1. Negative 3 divided by negative 3 is 1. So y is, the calculator will tell you, negative 10. It's the same situation as if we have, say, x divided by 4 minus 3 equals 12. Same thing there. It's the exact same two-step process. I first of all undo any add or subtract. I've got this minus 3, so I'm going to add 3 to both sides. And in doing that, I'm going to rewrite what's left. That's a 0. So x divided by 4 is, calculator gives you 15. And then to undo this last step, this divide that's here, to undo divide, I do the opposite. So I times by 4 on both sides. And I'm left with x equals, because 4 divided by 4 is 1. Calculator will tell you is 60. I'm going to try to get like some real ugly example. J over negative 4. Let's put a negative 4 plus that equals 8. Whoa, it's in a different order than I'm used to. I've got these negatives and divide. Do the same thing that we've done, just follow the same process. This negative 4 is out on the edge here. It's the one, it's negative, so we're going to add it. That's what we undo first. We undo multiply and divide afterwards. So don't do that yet. Just add 4 and add 4. When you do that, that goes to 0 because it's the sign in front of the number. So j divided by negative 4 equals 8 plus 4. If you calculate to get the answer there. And then to divide, to undo that, we just simply multiply by the same number. Multiply by the same number. That goes to 1. J becomes negative 48. Now, if you want to make sure and see if that's right, you can put that negative 48 back in here with your calculator. Negative 4 plus negative 4 divided by negative 48. Does that actually equal 8? And just to kind of show you the joys of this, let me go ahead and actually do this one on a calculator. If I'm wasting your time, just push pause. But here we go. Negative 4 plus the fraction negative 48 divided by negative 4. Is that going to equal 8? Oh, Larson. Did I push a minus on one of these? Negative 4. Did I push a negative there? And did I push a negative there? So I pushed a minus somewhere. There you go. So yes, we checked our answer. Yes, we got it right. Little bit complicated, but it's only 2 steps. So do those 2 steps. When you're undoing, let's do this, PEMDAS. When you're undoing, it's a SADMEP. Undo, add, and subtract first, and then undo, divide, and multiply. Just like if you had your shoes and then some socks on. You'd first of all take off the shoe and then the sock. Even though when you started, you put on the sock and then shoe. You undo it in the opposite order. You undo these operations in the opposite order that you put them on. Okay, excellent. Thank you. Well done. Good luck. Hope that kind of makes sense. Have a great and wonderful day. Bye-bye.